Turf Moor, Burnley, as Burnley take on Fulham in what is not just a 6-pointer but a relegation showdown. This really is a showdown of all showdowns at the wrong end of the Premier League table. We are live, 5 minutes to go to kick off. Just looking at Just Meyer on our pitches at the moment as we wait for the teams to enter the fray here at Turf Moor. This really is a big one for Burnley. No Ben Mee because of the concussion he picked up at Crystal Palace on Saturday. Thankfully he did recover, but unfortunately due to these ridiculous Premier League protocols, he can't feature in this game tonight, which is a real shame. Kevin Long comes in, but to temper that, but to balance that out, there is some good news for the Clarets tonight because Charlie Taylor comes back. He's fit enough to start, and he starts in place of Eric Peters, who's also out with an injury. No Matty Vidger inside in the 18 either for tonight's match. So it's stop-start at the moment. There's Scott Parker there. No Mitrovic for Fulham. That's the big news from their camp. And it's Bobby Reid and Meyer up front for them tonight. As we're almost all set to go here at the Turf, the live commentary coverage of the big one. This is the big game of the night. We'll be back doing We'll be starting our Champions League coverage as well next week on our knockout rounds. We start our Champions League knockout coverage next week, of course, at this time next week. But tonight it's all about the Premier League. This is the big one, Burnley against Fulham. It's a showdown, it's a 6-point showdown. Remember, if Burnley win, it's 8 points in it. So if Burnley were to win tonight, the gap would be 11 points. If Fulham were to win the game, hopefully not from a Burnley point of view, but then the gap would be down to 5, and would that be certainly be hanging over our shoulders. And of course, there's another big game coming up on Saturday afternoon when Burnley take on West Bromwich Albion here at the Turf. So this is important that Burnley get 3 points today. Remember, they're line 16. They're on 26 points. That win against Palace was totally unexpected in terms of the way they've been playing. The last 5 won against Villa, lost the next 2, drew against Brighton, and won. So it's won against Palace. So it's been quite the season thus far for Fulham. They drew a couple of games, lost, drew, won. And that's the way it's been. Helen Russ is on, one of our resident commentators. And can I just say at this point that Ross has got himself a new job as the new locally as the new Rotherham United reporter, and we wish him all the very best. He will still be with us, by the way, with JB Sports, but he'll be splitting his time now between JB Sports, the commentary, the Barry Swain internet commentary as well, and doing the Rotherham United games. And big well done to Russ, who's really moving up in the world. Anyway, back to the game here at Turf Moor. This is the big one. It's a showdown of all showdowns. 2 minutes away from the start. Burnley are now out of the tunnel. I think Fulham have just made themselves out of the game. So let me bring you the two sides then. Both incidentally are lining up with a 4-4-2 formation. If Russ could put a link up to the game on Twitter so everybody could watch, that would be fantastic. And maybe put one on the commentary workshop page as well, so that everyone can listen along with that. That would be fantastic. We need and just by the way, before we bring you the two lineups, I just want to say we're 11 subscribers away from that magic 800. So please, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We're 11 short of 800 subscribers, which is a terrific achievement for what we're setting out to achieve. For a small-time YouTuber, I can't wish for anything better. Right, let me give you those two sides, shall I? Right, here we go. Nick Pope in goal for the Clarets. Matt Lowton at right back. Tarkowski will play alongside Kevin Long, who replaces Ben Mee. And I think that's a ridiculous rule, by the way. I think Ben Mee if he's fit enough to play, let him play. But the good news is Charlie Taylor's back at left back, and that could only be good news because he'll complement McNeil that rather a bit better than what Eric Peters had done. Then Goodmanson on the right, Westwood and Cork in the middle. And Dwight McNeil out on the left, and up front, well, there's no other choice really. No Vidra, no Wood. So it's Ashley Barnes and Jay Rodriguez. Jay Rodriguez, incidentally, I think needs another goal to reach his 100 milestone. So they're up front. On the bench, there's 2 goalkeepers, Norris and Peacock Farrell. And the outfield subs are Brownhill, Brady, Bardsley, Dunn, Benson, Glennon and Mumbungo. Quickly for the Fulham side, Araloa in goal, Tete, Anderson, Toslin, Aina, Loftus-Cheek, Harrison Reid, Lamina, Lupman, Maya and Bobby Reid. On the bench, Rode at the keeper, Hector, Adoy, Reem, Cavallero, Amora, Zambo, Congolo and Robinson. The sets of officials tonight. Here, I'll go through the lot before the kick-off. John Moss is the referee for West Yorkshire. His 2 linesmen are Mark Perry and Nick Hopton. The 4th official's Martin Atkinson, also from West Yorkshire. Stockley Park, VAR, Darren England is the referee as they take the knee, and he's assisted by Dan Rovman as Fulham in the white shirts, dark shorts, prepare to get us underway here at Turf Moor. They've taken the knee in the ongoing fight against racism in football, and away we go. This really is the showdown of all showdowns. A Burnley win would take them 11 points clear of their opponents. A Fulham win, God forbid, would take them 5 points away from Burnley. This is how important this game really is tonight for both sides, especially for Burnley, because if they can get 3 points here, they'll be going into this. Of course, there's no Ben Mee in that side, so that's a big blow. And so, but to have Charlie Taylor back is a godsend as he comes forward again, hooks the ball away. How they're going to enjoy his industry and work rate on that left-hand side, that's going to be a real plus for Burnley here tonight. Referee has spotted an infringement somewhere. John Moss, I think he's pulling it back. I'm not sure what it's for. He's given a free kick to Fulham. I didn't see anything wrong there. The referee already is starting to get up my goat. I didn't see a free kick for anybody there. He's given Fulham the possession. And already John Moss making 1 or 2 rash decisions already, and that's a good ball, almost finding Bobby Reid. I know he's called Dekakova Reid, but I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. It's a very difficult name to pronounce, so Bobby Reid is my pronunciation of it. As we look at Toslin number 16, that's what he wears on his back. Just to remind you of the head-to-head, the last 5 for Burnley: 1 loss, 1 lost, and drew and won. They won at Crystal Palace, of course, and Fulham's last 5: drew, lost, drew, won. So they've only lost 1 of 5 for them, which is a little bit worrying now for Burnley, but their win at Everton was completely a surprise, really, considering how well Everton have been in the main at Goodison Park. Maybe that cup victory over Spurs last week really took it out their system. Here's Jack Cork on the ball now for Burnley. Can't find Ashley Barnes. He has to have a big game tonight. So too does Jay Rodriguez. And those 2 will really need to motor. Out comes Nick Pope, almost Manuel Neuer, and he does really well and hooks it down the line. But that should go, surely, well, it's not going to go into touch. And now the ball's back with the other goalkeeper, Araloa. Rodriguez very quick to try and charge it down, but he's got it away, the Fulham goalkeeper. Last time the sides met was in an FA Cup game just over a month ago. Burnley a comfortable 3-0 victors in that game, and they had a bit of a makeshift defence then, but kept a very good clean sheet against a strong Fulham side. Well, that was in the FA Cup. This is the Premier League, so 3 points is up for grabs, and this is the first priority for both sides at the moment. Burnley justified their pathetic defeat to Bournemouth last week, and we were there for that, but it looks as if Sean Dyche's method in his madness was actually justified, because the win at Crystal Palace was the most convincing display I think I've seen from a Burnley side for a very long time. Watching it as a spectator, it was just unbelievable. Here's Goodmanson breaking forward, but that's a good little challenge there by Aina getting back there. Don't forget, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. This is a big 6-pointer here. Live, exclusive YouTube commentary only here on JB Sports. And you won't be able to hear this anywhere else, commentary of this anywhere else on YouTube. And so please tell your friends, tell your family, get them to subscribe to the channel. We need the subs. 4 minutes gone, incidentally. Burnley 0, Fulham 0. Premier League football here on JB Sports. The only match tonight. Later on, you'll be able to watch on Amazon Prime. Everton's match with Manchester City. What a game that promises to be. What we're more interested in this big relegation 6-pointer here at the Turf. As Areola kicks it right-footed away. Over the halfway line it goes. Header won brilliantly there by Kevin Logg. He has to have a massive game tonight. Got a tough act to follow, replacing Ben Mee in that side. It's got to be said. Sean Dyche, what a time to get another result now. If they could pick up another win tonight, and then another 3 against West Bromwich Albion, then I feel that they should be okay. And they'll only be a few points shy of reaching that 40-point mark. A win tonight would take them on to 29 points. And just 11 away from that magical 40. And after the start they had at the start, it was looking bleak for them. Here's Dwight McNeil down the far side. Gets a good cross in there. Just a bit too long. Goodmanson tries to nod it back. And it's knocked away by Loftus-Cheek. And Fulham survive for the moment anyway. Here's Goodmanson now. The flag stays down. And then the ball round the corner from Westwood. Looking towards Barnes, and he can't keep that in play. Jay Rodriguez, in actual fact, was the man trying to fairly to keep that in play, but that was better. And that was the Dwight McNeil we saw 2 years ago, really running the Fulham defenders ragged. I think they're a better balance on the left. As we look at James Tarkowski there, Burnley skipper for the night, because Ben Mee is not allowed to play because of the concussion rule that the Premier League have got. I think that's a ridiculous rule, by the way. Health and safety gone mad. If he's fit enough to play, let him play. I've never understood why the rules are there. I think there's too much health and safety. It's a man's game, for God's sake. If you're watching a big match revisited in the 70s, they used to play on with head injuries and groin strains, the whole lot. They only had 12 players in a match day squad. How times have changed, and not really for the better. But anyway, I'm just an old-fashioned football supporter. Anyway, Burnley get a throw-in on the far side. We've had about 6.5 minutes in the first half. Burnley 0, Fulham 0. This big relegation showdown. And it wasn't a very good cross that from Taylor Roy. He was asked a lot off there, but to be fair, it's a Fulham goal kick. But Burnley are just shading in a little bit now. They're starting to be a bit more daring. They have to be. They are the home side. But their first half performances, certainly at home in the recent weeks, have not been good enough. Although their first half display at Crystal Palace away from home really made a mockery of their current form here, where they scored 2 goals in something like 12 minutes on Saturday. And it took everybody who's a current believer persuasion, including myself, completely by amazement and surprise. But they know the score. As much as a cup run would have been great for the club, and to have got through against Bournemouth, maybe Sean Dyche's theory and his method in his so-called madness maybe could pay off here if they can get another win, and another one against West Brom as the ball comes into the penalty area, headed away by Fulham. Lowton picks the ball up, goes back to Kevin Logg. He really does need to have a big game tonight. He hasn't been good enough whenever he's stepped in this season for me. And now then, can Taylor launch something here? Burnley certainly in control of things here. Westwood picks it up. Tarkowski has looks like he stayed forward. And still 0-0. Now Tarkowski hits it long, looking for McNeil. We can't take it down well enough on the chest, but the idea was good from Burnley. No doubt about that. Scott Parker, the Fulham coach, or the manager. I don't like the term head coach, he's the manager. And, when people start saying head coach, then, I don't like that. He's a manager. But he's the man in charge, he's the manager of the football club. Anyway, here come Burnley, on top at the moment. Can they ask a couple more questions? Taylor plays it back. Here's a chance now for a good cross, and the flag stayed down, and the header has gone wide from Ashley Barnes. Might have been a little suspicion possibly of offside there. I don't think the linesman put his flag up at any point. No, he did actually. Well, this is a... Well, he's definitely offside there. Looked a suspicion. If he's offside, put the flag up. This really irks me as a commentator. Why the linesmen don't put the flag up straight away. If he's offside, flag. Stuff what David Ellery wants you to do. Anyway, back to the game. And here come Fulham. Their first real account. And was that Bobby Reid going down there? No, nothing given. I think he went down a little bit too easily, if I'm being totally honest with you. With Matt Lowton, it was Bobby Reid there, Kevin Long was there, but he slipped over. That's what's happened. He slipped over there. If he was looking for a penalty, he was trying to look for one in the cup game a few weeks ago, and I don't think he's going to get much change out of the officials there, to be quite honest with you. Tell you what, if it had been going, it would have been one of the harshest penalty decisions of all time. But Fulham do get the throw, but Burnley defend the throw very well and try to get themselves moving here with Jay Rodriguez, and that should be a Burnley throw, and quite rightly given. The Copton's I think the linesman on the near side. Well, I just wish these linesmen had just put their flags up. If he's offside, just do it. There's no point in just trying to play on for the playing on sake. It's going to upset the flow of the game. It hurts the players, it hurts the managers, and it also hurts the commentator as well. Here's Charlie Taylor now for the Clarets. Taylor not afraid to run down that flank, but he's been easily tackled there on the far side by Lookman, and now Robert Loftus-Cheek, I should say. Now the ball back with number 16, Toslin. Toslin again gets the possession and just bowls it out to number 14, which is number 34, Aina, but that's out of play. A cheap throwing conceded. Burnley 0, Fulham 0. 11 minutes gone here on JB Sports, the only place you can hear live uninterrupted commentary of this game on any YouTube platform. Exclusive YouTube commentary of the game. And here we are at the turf again on another a bit more warmish compared to last week, when it was sub-zero temperatures in a very poor cup display against Bournemouth. But it's a little bit more milder here tonight, here in the Lancashire hillside. Burnley, of course, standing sort of on a hill slope. I mean, a wonderful little mill town, and Tarkowski gets the ball, hopefully trying to find Rodriguez, but the ball was broken for Fulham. The ball knocked away by them. This game should have been played in early January, but Fulham, in their wisdom, decided to postpone the game, which actually hurt me quite a lot. So this is really why I've built it as a showdown, as Lookman tries to break into the penalty area, but Burnley stop him. Harrison Reed picks the ball up, finds Loftus-Cheek, Lookman rather, I should say. Now the ball is played forward by Toslin to Anderson. Anderson over halfway, looking to hook a ball in there, and he's found Lookman very well. Here's Bobby Reid inside the penalty area. Bobby Reid's cross turned away by Kevin Long, and Fulham get their first corner of the game. And there's Bobby Reid. I know he's got Tekakova on, but I'm not going to say that silly name. It's Bobby Reid. I don't care what his preferences are. I'm the commentator, and I'll say what I feel that is the right thing to say, and it'll be easier for me. So Bobby Reid is forced to corner, which Lookman, former Everton and Charlton man, will take here for the Cottagers. First corner for Fulham from the left hand side, and the other side as we look. Bobby, there's the corner coming in, and the header one. I think Nick Pope was a little bit in two minds there. Wasn't sure whether to stick or twist as the cross came in. Decided to go back on the line because I think the defenders had that covered. There was a header that came in. I just wanted to see who got the header in. It was Toslin. Just loops up over Kerry Long's head, and it's easy there for Nick Pope, and I think he made the right decision to get back on the line when he did. Fulham now starting to have a little bit of possession, which is a little bit worrying for the Clarets at the moment. McNeil might win the loose ball. Almost did. Now what's the ref giving here? Throw to Fulham. I think it could have been a throw in the other way, to be honest with you, but Tete is going to take it for Fulham. Still 0-0 here if you've just joined us. Hasn't been too many clear-cut opportunities. 6-pointer. And if it ends a draw, incidentally, that would suit Burnley. I suppose morning it would suit Fulham. The gap would still be 8 points if it was to end a draw here tonight. So I don't think Burnley will be too worried if they drew tonight. They could still pull away by beating West Brom on Saturday. But Big Sam Allardyce hasn't got a bad record at Turf Moor. That's it, the referee, and he's got to stop it there, surely. And he's got to give that Burnley there. He's got to give it to Burnley there for me. Burnley have possession, so they should be given the decision, really, for me. Fulham don't like the decision, but John Moss, I think, has decided that it's a Burnley drop ball. And the game can now continue. I think that was the right thing to do from referee Moss. He did a good job there. Fulham can moan all they want, but it was definitely a Burnley drop ball. There's no doubt about that. So we've had a quarter of an hour of the first half. Still 0-0. It's a very tense game, this one. I just wonder how tense it would be if there was 22,000 main Clarets in this ground tonight. Just what might have been. But if you're listening at home, folks, enjoy it here with JB Sports. Long ball forward, looking towards Rodriguez, but well cut out by Toslin. Now Aina gets it forward down the left-hand side, but that's surely got to be James Tarkowski's. And he'll find Charlie Taylor. Taylor gets that forward, and he was tackled rather viciously, I thought there. That's got to be a yellow card. That's got to be a yellow card. And Taylor, who's just come back from an injury, has been absolutely poleaxed there. And I've no doubt about it. Ruben Loftus-Cheek went in so viciously, so hard, and yet he has the brass cheek to complain. The ball's gone. He's got none of the ball. He's got plenty of Charlie Taylor. And I don't think there was much doubt about it. The ball had gone, and Taylor was taken out. And John Moss was correct on both counts, the yellow card and the free kick. So Ruben Loftus-Cheek deservedly goes in the book with 16 minutes gone. The flag has stayed down here against Dwight McNeil, or has it? No, it hasn't. I thought he got away then, but he must have strayed offside. Oh, Perry, I think, on the near side. Nick Upton, the other linesman as well. Not Perry having more to do than linesman Perry having a lot more to do than linesman Hopton at the moment. Still 0-0. That's a ball forward by Bobby Reid that doesn't come off that time for Fulham. It's a fairly tense game, this one. No doubt about that. First goal is going to be also important. Burnley, the onus is on them. They need to start picking up points at home. They've thrown away too many decent displays. We were last year for a league match and they didn't try against Manchester City, and they've given the ball away cheaply here. Tarkowski, oh, what a good atonement. He gave the ball away. He gave the ball away there. Loftus-Cheek got in there. It looked as if he might have just had a go there or tried to have the shot, but Tarkowski got back. And in fairness to James Tarkowski, atoned for his error. It's a Fulham throw which has been taken. And Lamina now knocks the ball back. Anderson now under pressure from Rodriguez. Gets the ball forward. Burnley win possession. And they draw the free kick from referee John Moss. And that's silly. That's silly. That's kicking the ball away. Surely that's an automatic booking. John Moss has got to get the Fulham player in the book for me. That's kicking the ball away. That's ridiculous. I think Bobby Reid should go in the book here. Matt Lowton making the point, and quite rightly so. How has Bobby Reid got away with it? He's clearly kicked the ball away to waste time, and you can't really do that after 18 minutes of the game. That is ridiculous. And John Moss, I don't know why he's not kept his cards in his pocket under the rules of the game. under the rules of the game, Bobby Reid should be booked. That is ridiculous, and I think the referee has let Bobby Reid off the hook. That was poor. That was poor refereeing. Free kick, fair enough, but if you kick the ball away in any level of the game, that should be an automatic yellow card. Absolutely should be going in the book. But he's got away with it, Bobby Reid. How? I'll never know. Anyway, Burnley trying to get an attack going here. It's a tense game. 19 minutes have been played. No real chances yet for either side to report. So if you have joined us late, you've not missed anything. Goal kick to Burnley. 0-0 is the score. We've just had the one booking, incidentally, for a horrible challenge on Charlie Taylor not 4 minutes ago from Ruben Loftus-Cheek. But this was the mistake from Tarkowski. It looked as if Loftus-Cheek was going to get in there, but Tarkowski making up for his mistake and atoning in the best possible way. Good attitude shown by the standing Burnley captain tonight. Can Burnley get over the line, get 3 points? But it's a game they dare not lose. A draw wouldn't be the most disastrous result because the gap would stay at 8 points, which would suit Burnley more than it would suit Fulham. Burnley free kick, a clear foul there, and it looks as if Burnley are being poleaxed at every opportunity. Fulham are not coming out at all to play football. They're coming out to use force. And Ashley Barnes making that point there to Anderson that he used an elbow. And I think it's fair to say that Anderson has had his card marked there by Ashley Barnes. He won't forget, Ashley. He's the sort of player who won't forget a challenge that easily and will try and get his revenge later on in the piece. Free kick to Burnley, about 15 yards inside the Fulham half, maybe 20 yards inside the Fulham half, over on the left-hand side. Looks might be Ashley Westwood to swing that in and cause one or two problems. How Burnley could do with it? Well, no, it's going to be left to Dwight McNeil. He floats it in there towards the edge of the area. Header won by Burnley. They win the second header as well. And Barnes nearly gets in there. Haraloa, wow, he was in two minds there. And he was lucky there that there was no Burnley player within a 5-yard radius of him. Otherwise, that could have been a disaster for the Fulham goalkeeper. And at the end of it all, it's a Burnley throw, but that's the first real opportunity. Barnes was closing in here. Ball maybe just bounced a little too high for him. And Amarillo was quite lightning fast out there. And Bobby Reid completing the clearance. Burnley have a throw, but they've had to go backwards. And it's James Tarkowski. You'll have to get that back to goalkeeper Nick Pope. Pope clears away, and it's not a very good kick, I'm afraid, from Nick Pope there. But nevertheless, Burnley get a throw on halfway, so it's not all doom and gloom. But that's the first real panic for either goalkeeper, and that's Aragoa. Bit unorthodox how he got rid of the ball there. But he got rid of it. Burnley 0, Fulham 0, live on JB Sports. With some Champions League football taking place this evening around Europe as well. But as I say, we won't be concentrating on that until next week, of course. Jack Cork has possession. I don't think Fulham have won too many threats here already tonight with the way they've gone about their business. But Burnley certainly are trying to win a few threats. Here's Barnes. Oh, he's miscued the volley. I'll tell you what, if he had connected and hit the target, well, I think Ashley Barnes would have been talking about that for another 100 years if he lives to be that long. If he connected and smashed that into the back of Aragoa's net. But he didn't. He miscued it, and that was the first real opportunity for any of the strikers here. As the long ball comes in there towards again Ashley Barnes. Court battle switch, so too does Rodriguez, and that looked a very harsh decision from John Moss. I didn't think that was a free kick. I thought Rodriguez had got the ball fairly, but the referee didn't want to know. This was the opportunity again, up forward by Westwood. Got a good knack of hitting those balls in, and just maybe took his eye off the ball a fraction at the last second there, Ashley Barnes. I think he knew what he was trying to do. It would have been a spectacular goal. Might have been better to try and chest it and maybe try and hit the ball at the second with the second touch, maybe first touch to try and get it down. Meanwhile, Rodriguez is in the box and he looked as if he was being held. It's a corner, but I thought his shirt was being tugged there. I thought from first glance his shirt was tugged by the defender. Now I'm just looking at it again. He's used his control well, and whoa, look at that fistful of shirt. That's a fistful of shirt. That is not. How is that not a penalty? Well, halfway through the first half, so only a Burnley corner. But I think that should have been a Burnley spot kick for me. I think John Moss had a very good view of that. Anyway, it's Burnley's first corner. 2 corners, 1 corner each. McNeil with the corner. Into the 6-yard area and over the top. There was a forest of bodies in there, and I wonder who got the header in. I think it was Kevin Long. I think it was a great corner for McNeil from the right-hand side. Oh, well. It was Long. He just didn't keep the header down. And he knows he should have done better. That was a poor finish from Kevin Long. And Burnley really should be a goal up on that front. If it had been Ashley Barnes or one of the strikers, it might have been a completely different story. If it had been Ben Mee, it would have certainly been a completely different tale. Anyway, he's not in the side tonight because of these ridiculous Premier League concussion rules. Anyway, here's Goodmanson trying to win the ball forward, and that has not gone out. That looked as if it was gone out before Lookman touched it, and that could be controversial if Fulham end up scoring from this. Loftus-Cheek has possession, and here's Lookman. Oh, maybe justice was done. Maybe justice was done. But that ball looked out of play. Now, the linesman on the near side, well, I can't believe that. I just literally can't believe it. But at 0-0, it's still very good. Trevor's on, our very good friend. Of course, Trevor Sports, give his channel a try as well if you haven't already. Very good content. I appear on that a lot. He's saying that Burnley are playing some tidy football this evening. I couldn't agree with Trevor more. They are playing. I think this is the best football they've played at Turf Moor in the first half for quite some time. The last couple of times I've seen them at Turf Moor here on JB Sports. It's fantastic. And it's nice to see the comment section actually going up a little bit now. We were stuck on 2 as Harrison Reid has been brought down. And I don't know what Josh is saying there, but can you try and put a little bit of sense into that? I can't read that. So, you know, if you can be a little bit more clear and just keep your comments clean there, Josh, and just clear it out for me and I'll be able to read that out. Anyway, Burnley have got a free kick about 10 yards inside the Fulham half. We've had 26 and a half minutes here. The early kick-off. Later on, Everton at home to Manchester City. But you could be able to watch that with Amazon Prime. Free kick taken by McNeil towards the edge of the area. Headed forward by Tarkowski. The ball come out on the edge of the area. It's a good shot as well from Westwood, but it's straight down Areola's throat. But he caught that so well on the right foot outside the penalty area. Ashley Westwood, he took that down beautifully. It was a good effort, but as I say, it was just down the middle of the goalkeeper, and he was able to take that with no real trouble at all. As Charlie Taylor comes forward, and I think you've got to say Charlie Taylor being back in the side, it really, I think Burnley are better balanced on the left hand side with Taylor and definitely McNeil. I think they complement each other very, very well. Very good in tandem. Keep your comments rolling in, keep them clean. We are a family show. Anyway, here comes Burnley again, and here's Jay Rodriguez, the hometown boy. It's Barbara Kiko actually goes in my best friend's pizza shop, actually, just to let you know. So I've got a sort of varied interest in Jay Rodriguez's career. Barely making with the football this evening. Right. Anyway, Fulham 0, Burnley 0 rather, Fulham 0. But Fulham have not been good, really. I don't think they've been good value for a 0-0. I think Burnley should be ahead through Kevin Long. And of course, Sheik has got to watch his step for a vicious foul on Charlie Taylor. Definitely a yellow card, never a red. But here's Harrison Reid, one man that could unpick things. But a draw for Burnley tonight wouldn't be the worst result in the world. And Josh reckons it'll be a 2-1 Burnley win. Trevor's had a busy few days, of course, and I have to say you've been brilliant with the content, Trevor. I've got to be honest. And it's nice to have you with us for whatever time you're going to be with us for. And I know you'll listen back if you don't listen, so it's lesson live, so we know you're always there. Trevor reckons it's going to be a 5-4 win for Burnley. Well, thank you for that. And if that ends 5-4, I'm going to have heart failures, Trevor. Anyway, here come Fulham. They might give us some heart failures. Glog comes in and he was taken out surely by Bobby Reid, I think. And Kevin Long is in some serious trouble. No, it wasn't him. In fact, it was Maya. It was Maya. I think Kevin Long is in down there. That was an awful tackle, I have to say. That's a bookable offence as well. It was a good crossing there. He had every right to go for the ball, but Long was there first. Ball had gone. Yep, that should be a yellow card for me. It wasn't a good challenge at all. It was very untidy, I have to say. But it's a free kick to Burnley. I think you guys are trying to give me a collective heart failure here. I'd take a 1-0. I mean, a draw wouldn't be a bad result for Burnley. But of course, we've got West Bromwich Albion coming up on Saturday. That's just a bigger game as well. Big Sam Allardyce. Watched them on Sunday take Manchester United all the way. And could have actually lost it in the last seconds when Maguire hit the right-hand post at the Hawthorns. But they got a point out of it. Whether or not that will keep them in the division, it's still a long way of getting out of trouble. But in this game at the moment, Burnley's certainly having the better of it. They've had the chances. They've certainly had the best chance for Kevin Long. Nick Hopton on the far side there, giving Fulham a throw. So we've had half an hour of a real tense game of football. This really is a tension sapping one. And Scott Parker having a little few words to say as well. I still think they should have played in January. Now then, John Moss has been called over here, and I just wonder if Scott Parker said something out of turn here. Because John Moss is going over to Scott Parker here. Now, this could be interesting. Is he going to be sent from the stand? I just wonder. I wonder if he's going to send him off. Scott Parker's obviously spoken out of turn here. John Moss having a few words to say. He's not going to send Scott Parker up to the stands. I have to say, he was a bit out of order there. He was certainly saying something out of turn. Sean Dyche just synchronises his watch. Let's have a look at the time, how long's gone. He's not worried. He gets on with the job. But at the moment, no foul there. Definitely a good tackle there. And now here come Burnley now. Can they make something happen with Jay Rodriguez? No, they can't this time. Fulham getting sufficient numbers back now. Harrison Reed in possession. Back to Toslin. He almost lost it there to Ashley Barnes, who put him under a lot of pressure. Right on the edge of his own D as well, Toslin. He was playing chicken on the edge of his own penalty area. It seemed to me. As the ball is floated in there by Jack Cork. And I don't think no foul. The Fulham player going out too easy. That's the problem with Bobby Reid. He's yeah, should make Scott Parker red. He reckons it's a red, Trevor. He should make Scott Parker rewatch English Sports Channel as punishment for that. Ref. Fulham to win 4-4-1. No, that's a. Come on, Josh, get your comments a little bit more clear. Anyway, never mind. If you are a first-time subscriber, hit that subscribe button and hit the notifications, because there's plenty more where that's coming from here on JB Sports. And subscribe to Russ's channel, to Chris's channel, and to Trevor's channel. All resident commentators on this channel. Permanently now from now on in, and we're glad to have them on board to complement myself, JB, as main commentator. Burnley have won a corner on the far side, and Ashley Westwood will take it in, and you can bet your bottom dollar Westwood will draw it in on that goal line and give the Araloas something to think about. This will be an interesting moment. Burnley's second corner of the contest. The first goal is going to be also important in a relegation scrap of this magnitude. Westwood is trotting across. McNeil's obviously leaving it. It's going to be from the left-hand side, the far side as we look. We're in the James Hargreaves stand, which of course is well better known as the long side end for non-Burnley fans as that ball comes into the mix once again. The goalkeeper wasn't sure whether to stick or twist either, and the defenders got it away as Kevin Long now's got a little bit of a job to do, or rather Charlie Taylor, sorry, has got a bit of a job to do and gets that ball back to Nick Pope, and that's a better kick from Nick Pope. That's a much better kick. Last one he scuffed away rather poorly, and that's a good chest down by Meyer into the path of Loftus-Cheek. Back to Meyer again. Bobby Reilly's the furthest man forward, and here they come again. But that's going to be that's well played there from Gudmundsson. Couldn't win the second ball there, but what he did well there was really take on the Fulham players and say, right, you're in a game now. Here's Loftus-Cheek now. Anyway, the ball up forward again, and it's with Charlie Taylor, and a goal kick to Burnley. 0-0 is the score. 10 minutes to half time, folks. And I think Burnley are shading at the moment. Josh is on. I don't know what you mean there, Josh. I'm seriously just I want to read your comments out, but we want you to be part of us, but at the moment you're not making sense, so I can't really read these things out very well, and that's not a complaint, it's just a genuine thing. Just remember that. I'm not having a go at you. By the way, that's Barnes has gone down again, but Burnley do have possession here with Dwight McNeil. Burnley just about been the better side for me, and here's McNeil again. Him and Taylor really complement each other well. That's going to deflect off a defender. That's surely going to be a Burnley ball, and the goalkeeper throws that out. Now that, to me, that's almost a cardinal sin, is kicking the ball away. And I think Karen Lowe should be going in the book. Fulham are not coming out to play the game at all. Their challenges have been on the dirty side. Scott Parker should have gone to the stands because I think he spoke out of turn. And Aaron Lowe now being spoken to by the referee. And Fulham aren't liking this trip up to Burnley at all. But Burnley have been the better side. They've certainly been the more enterprising side. Here comes the corner. Westwood into the area. Aaron Lowe with a very decisive punch, it's got to be said. And he actually did well. There's a Burnley player sprawled on the ground there. And I think... he's got up anyway. It's Gudmundsson plays the ball forward. Chances here now if Barnes can chase it, but it's knocked away by Fulham. Still 0-0 here at Turf Moor. Burnley 0, Fulham 0 in a relegation showdown, and it is a real showdown here at the Turf. Of course, we'll have the JB man in the match in the second half, and we'll tell you how you can do that at half time or in the second half of that game. Next weekend, Everton against Liverpool. What a game that is. And Liverpool against Everton. Now, Gudmundsson's down here. And I just wonder if he's picked up another injury. This would be a very bad time to pick up an injury. He's been very injury prone this season. Hello, yes, thank you. I just hope this is not too serious. I mean, it's an injury that Burnley could ill do without. And... as we look at that again, oh no, I don't know what happened. I think he's just pulled something there that's purely innocuous. And now it's to BT. He's always the prophet of doom in these situations. No disrespect to him, but come on, Johan, get up. This is a big moment now. We could be Burnley could be forced into bringing on possibly Robbie Brady at this point, who has been playing on the right hand side when Gudmundsson's been out of the side. It is very frustrating when these things happen. Gudmundsson is just going off for a second to see if he can run it off. I don't even think it's going to happen. I think he's going to go down. No, he's going. He's going to be replaced. And it looks as if they've prepared the sub on. I assume it's Robbie Brady going off, and that is a disappointment for me. I don't think there's anything wrong. I don't know what's happened there. That's a huge blow. And I honestly think, oh my goodness me, that's not what we wanted to see. So, yeah, as I thought, Brady comes on. But that really unbalances the right-hand side now for Burnley. No disrespect to Brady because he's predominantly left-footed, but that's a real blow for the Clarets in one of the biggest games of the season. Let's just hope that is a precautionary measure, like Ben Mee the other day, and not too serious. Another injury problem. Burnley have had terrible luck with injuries so far this season. That's a poor ball from Ashley Barnes, and that should be knocked away by Tete. I think the ball was intended for McNeil. McNeil does get the ball there, but he's nodded it straight to a Fulham player. And Burnley player went sprawling there. No foul given. And here come Fulham again with Luckman now on this left-hand side. He'll take on Lawson. He'll beat him, but he won't beat the second man, which is Brady. And Brady, to his internal credit, has kept that in, has he? He has. No, he hasn't. Well, I thought he kept that in. That is an appalling decision from John Moss, the referee. I honestly thought Brady had kept that in. Oh, the ball's oh, actually, maybe not. Maybe not on second glance. Maybe not on second glance. I take back what I said then, folks. From the first angle I saw it from, and I'm in the top tier of the stand, I thought he kept that in. Now then, what we don't want to see is a Fulham goal at this moment. What Burnley won't want to have is a Fulham goal. That was never on the quadrant. I'll come back to that comment in a minute, Josh. We've got a corner to Fulham, left hand side. The near side as we look. Burnley nil, Fulham nil, and the ball hooked back, and the shots are outside the penalty area. It's over the top, a goal kick. Might have been Lemina with the shot on the edge of the area. It was Lutman's corner. They were trying to pull Scholes type of corner. Beckham stroke Scholes caught them many a long year ago at Bradford when they were in the Premier League. And he went for a goal kick, but the goal kick has sort of been squandered, and Fulham have possession here now with Luckman into Bobby Reid. He touches it back, and Luckman again. And at the moment, Taina has possession. Last time we saw Fulham last time we did Fulham, they drew 1-1 at Tottenham. So they've got a little bit about them. And of course they lost narrowly to Chelsea, of course, in that West London derby, which we also covered on JB Sports. There was a goal, I think, from Mason Mount that decided it that day. Then manager Frank Lampard a bit of breathing space, which he couldn't hold on to. As the ball comes in, Tarkowski gets it away, and he had to get there. McNeil looked as if he was being pushed there. John Moss was in a very good situation and didn't see anything wrong with it. Taylor now has a race on to keep it in on the far side, which he succeeds in doing so, but in turn he's given possession rather straight to Fulham. 3 minutes to half time in a fairly tense game here at the Turf. A Burnley win would take the Clarets 11 points ahead. A Fulham win would close the gap between the two to 5 points, but a draw would keep the 8-point gap just about the same, although they would improve a point apiece on the strength of that if it was to draw. Josh asks, who do you think is going to win? I'm obviously a Burnley fan, so I'd like to see them win, but I'm not going to make any bold predictions because I don't want to put the kiss of death on my side on Burnley at the moment. Barnes has not been given a free kick there, but I think Burnley have shaded it. I don't think there's much doubt about that. They've really took the game to Fulham in certain areas. I think Barnes won the ball there fairly and squarely. I think he has given a free kick, in fact. So if Burnley were to profit, it was a free kick as it turned out. So the referee was right on the spot, quicker than I was anyway. I'm nearly 38 years old and my eyes are going. I'm getting to that stage now where I'm getting very, very old, folks. But anyway, free kick, McNeil and Westwood. Westwood's going to bend it in there. In towards the near post. It wasn't a bad free kick. But Fulham have dealt with everything that Burnley have thrown at them reasonably well, I have to say. But Burnley have possession. Fulham don't have a good record here at the turf, of course. Rodriguez trying to turn there, but Tete getting back. The last time they played each other here in the Premier League, you'd have to go back to 2019, January. Burnley won 2-1. They scored they won with 2 own goals, believe it or not, after Shearer had put the Cottagers in front with a volley. Now then, I think he wants the throw-in taken a bit further forward here, John Moss. He's just imploring the Burnley players to take it from the correct position. So they've taken it a bit further in towards the quadrant. Taylor and McNeil are trying to work something in tandem from the throw, but they get another chance now. Almost in line with the 18-yard box of Fulham. Last 30 seconds of normal time, and we'll get an indication from Martin Atkinson, our fourth official, to see how long we got yet. Further forward as Reed concedes another throw. So that's 3 throw-ins in a row for Burnley on that same area of the park in line with the edge of the 18-yard box of Fulham. As Burnley try to work something down there, and they might just get in here. Good cross, a shot out, a far post! And I think Rodriguez was the man sliding in there. Brady has possession on the right. He gets a decent cross in there. And the heads go up, and it's a Fulham head who wins it, and it's a corner kick. But Che Rodriguez must have been half an inch away, possibly half a stud away, from putting Burnley into a deserved lead. It was a lovely work down the right-hand side, and a wonderful low cross. Evaded first Barnes at the near post. And it was James Tarkowski of all people with the cross. And I think Arbeloa actually got a glove on that, which actually took it away from Rodriguez. That was, as if it turns out to be the case, that's actually a good bit of goalkeeping there by the Fulham keeper. 2 added minutes, and we've had 30 seconds of it. In it goes, a deeper corner. It's an outswing this time. Long chance for the header. The second ball's going to be crucial, and it's Bobby Reed who smashes it away for Fulham. And Matt Lowton is there, and he does really well there, Matt Lowton. Good defending and good covering as well. Burnley now comes charging forward. Can't find Ashley Barnes with the long ball. And Arbeloa's got possession, and there's a Fulham player injured inside the penalty box. Inside Fulham's penalty area, it's Aina who's in a little bit of dire straits there. He'll try and run it off for the last minute and then get the physios in the changing rooms to look at it at half time. And Josh, oh, that's brilliant. Yeah, I am in heart, but I've got to try and be as unbiased as I dare to be. Yes, Trevor, it should be 1-0 Burnley. I think it could have been at least a couple. Burnley been worthy of a couple of goals, but Arbeloa's little foot glove has stopped Burnley from scoring. But 30 seconds of normal time, of stoppage time to go, and then we'll have a quick 10-minute break, because I'll need to lie down for 10 minutes here at the turf. And then we'll be back underway with live second half coverage. Only here on JB Sports, the only place on YouTube you can hear live audio commentaries of football games played in England and Europe. And we'll be starting our Champions League commentaries next week with the last 16. We'll be focusing, amongst others, Chelsea as they take to the field for their last 16 encounter, and we'll be hopefully bringing them this time next week as the half-time whistle goes. And Burnley should be a goal ahead, as Trevor's pointed out there on the comment section. But at the moment, it's not a disaster for Burnley. They're on 27 points as things stand at the moment. Fulham would move up a point to 19, but the gap would still remain the same. 8 points, but not a disastrous first half by any means. And that's probably one of the best first half displays at home I've seen from the Clarets so far this season. But at the moment, they're being held by Fulham, who have had 1 or 2 half chances, but haven't really offered too much as an attacking force. But at the end of the day, Burnley have had a couple of really good opportunities. Kevin Long heading over the bar, and then that save at the end of the first half from that Tarkowski cross, which just about evaded that little good from Arbeloa, just evaded Jay Rodriguez. But it's been a good first half from Burnley, encouraging signs. But the only downside to that is Johan Berg Gudmundsson has gone off with an injury that was picked up innocuously. There was no bad challenges from any Fulham player at that point. But so that's a little bit of a worry. Let's hope that's precautionary, that Ali Beattie is just taking him off for his own safety. But at the moment, Burnley edging it. If it was a boxing match, they'd certainly be winning on points, but in reality, it's 0-0 at the break. Be sure to join us for the second half. It's going to be even more tense than the first half, believe you and me. Half time then, as we leave you for about 10 minutes, so I could just have a little lie down and a little half time stack. It's Burnley 0, Fulham 0, and we'll be back with the second half very, very shortly. Welcome back to Turf Moor. We're at half time here at the Turf. Burnley 0, Fulham 0. Sue, thank you for joining me. Hello, Josh. Yes, yes, you are making sense. Just want to bring you up to speed with a bit of footballing news. Now, if you haven't seen this on television today, there was a bit of an incident involving referee Jeremy Drysdale in League One. There was a match on between Ipswich and Northampton which ended goalless. Ipswich, I think, had a man sent off, but Jeremy Drysdale is in some bother, it looks like, from the FA, because he appeared to headbutt one of the Ipswich players. It seems to me on the head, and it could well, I think it was Judge, in fact, and he's going to be in some serious trouble. Now he's facing a ban. Maybe he should be suspended indefinitely as a referee, because I'm afraid that is not. He's been charged anyway because he squared up to an Ipswich player. Now, I don't know if you've all seen this incident. What happened was he leaned his head into. This is what happened. Darren, because he had a little bit of a set to Alan Judge. Now, what happened was Judge had gone down in the area. Drysdale didn't give a penalty because he felt it was. Judge had gone down a bit easily. Judge, of course, protested the decision and walked towards Drysdale. The pair exchanged words, and then Drysdale seemed to headbutt the lad. It looked to me, anyway, as he headbutted the lad, and all hell broke loose, quite practically. It's an absolute disgrace, really, what we've seen there, and I think Darren Drysdale should have the book thrown at him. We're just waiting for the teams to come out. We're just having one or two technical errors, which always happen in these live streams. Obviously, we haven't started out the second half yet, so we're not unduly worried at the moment about all this. But hopefully, we'll get these technical issues these real issues sorted out in the fullness of time. But 0-0 is the score, but Burnley certainly had the first 45, that is for sure, as we hopefully now get back up and underway in the second half with no more technical itches. It's a good job it's happened before the second half and not during it. That would have been something that would have been interesting, that's for sure. We're just waiting, as I say, for the start of the second half, and then we'll kick on with the second half for you folks here on JB Sports. But Darren Drysdale then in a whole heap of trouble, and I think the FA and maybe should look at his conduct and make an example of him, because I'm sorry, but that is just the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my 30 odd years. I understand the referees can have one or two bad times, but as the teams emerge from the tunnel for the second half, I think Darren Drysdale should not only get a ban, I think he should be banned from football for life. You're in charge of the game. It's your responsibility for the safety of the players. You should not be trying to headbutt a footballer of that description. It just doesn't make no sense. Anyway, we're back out. We're almost underway for the second half. Scott Parker making his way over to the far side. Fulham certainly been second best as far as I'm concerned in the first half. Burnley have had the two better chances of the game. But the worrying news is Johan Berg-Gudmundsson yet again has picked up an injury, which again is a very, very frustrating moment for them, as Parker, under no great rush, makes his way to the technical area. I think Sean Dyche is already there. Burnley will get us underway in the second half, then attacking the Jimmy McIlroy stand after the famous Burnley's most famous player, of course, a member of that 1960s World Cup Championship side. Well, that's just so we kept the teams. Pope in goal for Burnley, Charlie Taylor, Kevin Long, James Sarkowski, Matt Lowton, Dwight McNeil, Jack Cork, I should say, Ashley Westwood, Robbie Brady on for the injured Goodmanson, and the front two of Ashley Barnes and Jay Rodriguez. For Fulham, Araloa in goal, Aina, Tozen, Anderson and Tete across the back. Then it's Luckman, Lamina, Harrison Reed, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and then it's Bobby Reed up front alongside Meyer for the Cottagers. 0-0 is the score as Brady now, who came on as a substitute, as well, I didn't think that was a foul there. I've got to be honest, I think Reed was looking for that a little bit, Harrison Reed that is, and I don't even think that's a bookable offence. And I don't think that's a good decision from John Moss, considering that there was a foul in the first half. Maybe it was a bit of a free kick, but not a yellow card offence. He's just tripped him up there for me. Looks a bit harsh, and Harrison Reed quite clearly is looking for that and has conned John Moss, in my opinion. That is not a very good decision to book Robbie Brady for that, I've got to say. Burnley 0, Fulham 0. It's a game that Burnley dare not afford to lose. A draw would be okay, providing, of course, they beat West Bromwich Albion on Saturday. Harrison Reed, I think he'll be okay when he's had the little magic sponge treatment. I didn't think there was anything malicious in that foul at all. I think Reed was looking for the contact, got it, went over like he'd been shot, and the yellow card was bought from the referee. So we're back up and underway. Yeah, West Brom will be tough, Sue. I mean, we watched them in action on JB Sports on Sunday, and they gave Manchester United a heck of a scare, that's for sure. And they could have easily won the game as well, although United at the end could have won it through Harry Maguire. But it's but some maybes. But here come Fulham now. They win for them, and the gap would be 5 points. There comes the cross, and Kevin Long didn't do well enough there. And Burnley are in a little spot above here. Looks like Fulham have made a decent start. Tete with the cross, and it deflects off Dwight McNeil for the first quarter to Fulham of the second half. And Burnley here, as I feared, would be under a little bit of pressure here. They can't afford to lose the first goal, as Adam Ola will take the corner for the Cottagers. You have one of the most wretched records at Turf Moor in league football. It's their third corner. Burnley have had 4 of them. Lookman takes the corners from both sides. Anderson's forward. Dangerous moments this for Burnley. As the corner comes in towards the near post, it's flicked on and it's getting turned in, I think. And the defender there has knocked it in, and Fulham have scored. Oh, this is a disastrous moment for Burnley. I think it might be debited as a Brady own goal. Well, we'll have to sort this one out, who got the final Fulham touch, but it was a really poor corner for Burnley to give away, and it comes off the chest, I think, of Aina of all people, and into the back of the net. Yes, it's off the chest, and Robbie Brady, I'm afraid, that was awful. I think they were trying to appeal handball, it's clearly come off the chest, and what was Brady trying to do there on the line? That was ridiculous. Unbelievable. That is shocking from the Clarets. And when we saw a first half which was so encouraging, Burnley makes such a wretched start. And Aina, a fortuitous goal for Fulham, it's got to be said. They haven't deserved it on the balance of play, but when you're at the bottom and things like that go for you, you just have to wonder. That is a wretched goal for Burnley to concede. And Robbie Brady, what was he doing? And now Burnley now have to react very positively now. They have to come from behind. They don't make it easy, really. That is a horrible goal to concede. And there was nothing that Pope could have done about it. It's come off the chest. But surely Brady had a bit more time than he had to hook that off the line. That is a horrible goal for Burnley to concede. But the marking again all over the place, and you just wonder if Ben Mee had been there. would that goal have been preventable? And this is where the Premier League rules come into their own. Fulham, let's be fair, they don't deserve to be winning. And I just wonder if they get out of trouble and they put Burnley down, how much of that will be down to their breaking of the COVID rules. This is why they should have been fined and given, and the game should not have took place. Burnley should have been awarded an automatic win, but the Premier League weren't interested in all of that malarkey, and I think Fulham should have had the punishment. As it happens, they're in front in a game they do not deserve to be winning. Burnley have only themselves to blame on the goal, but as far as the balance of play is concerned, Burnley deserve to be more than a goal ahead. Here's McNeil now. McNeil challenged by two Fulham defenders, and they're going to play dirty now a little bit now. Fulham, it's got to be said, they get a throw, but I'm sorry to say, but they do not deserve to be in the lead. That is one of the most luckiest goals I think I've ever seen in my entire life. It's come off the chest. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Although the hand was sticking out there, and I know, well, I don't think it would have made any difference. I mean, if it had gone to VAR, I don't think they would have overturned that, to be honest. But you have to look at the defence as well. Kevin Long, is he good enough? He's only in the side because of this ridiculous Premier League ruling on concussion, and I think it's ridiculous. Health and safety gone mad, and Burnley are a victim of that, and that's only his second goal in the Premier League this season. It could be a crucial one for them in a game they don't deserve to be winning in. Let's make no bones about that. Here he is now, the aforementioned hyena, with the chest of all things, has put Fulham ahead. But just remember, 2 years ago, Burnley were trailing in the same game and came back to win 2-1. So we can't give up. Burnley can't give up by any means. Oh, what a lovely play. Lovely feint there by... And a chance here for Barnes. Barnes inside here. Should score. He has scored. And Barnes has equalised. And Burnley have reacted in the best possible way. And what a feint by Jay Rodriguez on the right-hand side. The flank stayed down. Barnes stayed onside. The goalkeeper slipped. And Barnes just put it in the empty net. And Burnley get themselves the equalising goal. What a fight back from the Claris. And what about that for a feint? And the ball knocked in, and he's definitely onside here. First touch was actually quite poor, but it threw the goalkeeper off the scent. And with the left foot, put it into the unguarded net as the goalkeeper slipped. I think he was willed by Barnes' first touch. It wasn't the best, but who cares? Burnley are level. And now surely the game is theirs for the taking if they can just take their opportunity. And Barnes certainly did. And Burnley have reacted to going a goal down in the best possible way. Burnley won, Fulham won, and we've got a real game on here in this second half. Can Burnley go on and win it? I ask myself. And, well, you've got to say Burnley have deserved it tonight. They've really buttoned down the hatches, and Fulham have really had to button down the hatches and try and keep them out for as long as they can. But Burnley are in the ascendancy now. They had to get the next goal after going behind. It was also crucial. But now, at the same token, they can't afford to lose another one to Fulham. One apiece. The gap, as things stand, would be still at 8 points if it was to stay the same way. Here's Barnes again, touching it onto Brady. Brady tries to find Rodriguez, and he can't succeed in doing so. But Burnley now being a little bit more gung-ho. And it's something I've been wanting to see for quite some time tonight. They have certainly put in a very good performance. I think the television director is trying to show a replay, but he's cut back to live pictures of the game here. No foul. Westwood takes possession. And he's got Barnes up ahead of him. Tries to play the 1-2 towards. Trying to get it into Westwood. Can't get the ball back there. Fulham had enough white shirts back to quell the danger, if you like. And Hyena brought back by Brady. And Brady now, remember, he's on a yellow card. He can't afford to do anything silly. Just a free kick given. But he's already on a yellow card. And one thing Burnley don't want to do now is lose another man to suspension. Because if he gets 2 yellows, that's an automatic 1-match ban. And Burnley can ill afford these at this stage of the season. Already lost Goodmanson to injury. They don't want to be losing Brady as well. That's a foul on Taylor by Bobby Reid. And he should have been in the book a long time ago. Bobby Reid bringing down his man. 10 minutes gone in the second half, and my word, we've got drama here at the Turf, folks. And you can only hear it live on YouTube on this channel. Well, exclusive YouTube commentary of this Premier League six-pointer. It's a showdown. And at the moment, it's proving out to be a showdown. We'll tell you about the man in the match in a second, because Burnley have a free kick taken by McNeil. Fulham deal with it partially okay. But Burnley trying to hook in there, stay in there with Jack Cork, and he's brought down his man. It's a free kick to Fulham. Right, gives me a chance, in fact, to tell you about the man in the match award, which will be starting voting from the 60th minute to the 90th minute. All you've got to do, folks, if you are new around here, obviously subscribe and hit the notifications. But for the man in the match, it's something that we like to try and do and get you guys interacting that little bit more in the comments. And what we ask you to do is name the player that you want to see win the man in the match, and it could be either from, well, it could be a player from either side, for to be honest with you. So if you think there's a player out the 22 that's out there on the pitch that deserves it more than most, all you want to do is tag the name, put the name in the comments, the live chat, and then you hashtag it with the hashtag JBMLTM for your vote to count. But we'll be starting the vote in just under 4 minutes from now, but I'll let you know when to start voting. Meanwhile, Burnley are on the attack. Oh, that's a bad foul! That's a foul, surely! That is an absolute, and he's absolutely poleaxe floating there. How is that not a yellow card? I'm sorry, but how is that not a yellow card for Aida here? Look at him! He smacked him in the face, and he knew exactly what he was doing! This is ridiculous. He knew exactly what he was doing. He's poleaxe floating. That, to me, is a clear booking. John Moss should be taking command of this situation. He can laugh and joke about all he wants, but that's a bookable offence, referee. Free kick, though, to Burnley. Right-hand side, McNeil and Westwood, the two-man committee. It's floated in towards the area. Fulham getting away, but they should, well, Aida should be booked for that. That was stupid. The most reckless. He knew exactly where he was going, and he had to smack him there. That, to me, is a professional foul. That should be a bookable offence. You could also put it very close to being a possible case of violent conduct. I'm surprised VAR haven't had a look at that, to be honest with you. But anyway, it still remains 1-1, and we still have a full complement of 22 players on the pitch. And well, it's getting a wee bit physical out there now. Burnley 1, Fulham 1 in this massive relegation showdown. And what a moment this could be now for Ashley Barnes. He's got through. Barnes shoots across the goal, and Aaron Howard somehow gets a toe to it. And now the ball breaks to Brady. Brady trying to get the shot off, and the ball might break here for Barnes. McNeil trying to close down Tete as he gets that away, but oh, that was a huge moment in the game, possibly for Burnley to go 2-1 up there. But still might have a chance here with McNeil from Cork's pass. Taylor with the overlap. How they've missed his industry. Couldn't get it through. Tete got a good challenge in. Still 1-1. Stay tuned, folks, because we could be in for something spectacular. It might have been Jay Rodriguez, in fact, who got through. Jay Rodriguez, in fact. Both his and Ashley Barnes' sort of turn and body shape are exactly the same. So it just gets a little bit confusing sometimes, certainly high up in the stand where I'm watching the game for you. Here's McNeil to Taylor, near side. Taylor's cross is not a bad one. There's a man through in the back post, and it was not Ashley Barnes, it was Robbie Brady, who couldn't direct the header on target. But Burnley are starting to ask some very big questions now, and they're getting Taylor and McNeil on the ball a lot more now, I think. Taylor's cross was a beaut, and it just needed a better contact. And Fulham might have been in a huge hole and in a huge quagmire at that point, but it still remains 1-1. And it's well, you are right, it is very good, but we've got a Fulham substitution, I think, coming up in a second. Right, we've got about 15 seconds before we start opening a man in a match vote. The man who gets the most votes, in fact, in this half an hour vote will win the supplementary award. So Get your thinking caps on, folks, because we're now going to open the vote in a few seconds from now. Westwood gets the ball forward, but the referee spotted something there against Jay Rodriguez, and John Moss is standing for no nonsense. Anyway, 60 minutes gone, so the voting starts for man of the match. Name of the player you want to see win the award, and then you hashtag it with JBMLTM as Lamina comes off for Fulham. Had a bit of a quiet game from me, but you may well disagree with that, folks. And Zambo comes on, number 29. Zambo on for Fulham. So half an hour to go. And the man of the match vote. I will be reminding you it's a regular intervals to do the man of the match vote. That's quite a lot of you on tonight by standards of this game. Usually get the bigger audiences for much bigger games than this, but this is a real relegation 6-pointer, and it's dramatic in the sense of the way this game could go. Burnley certainly in the ascendancy now, but Fulham tried to attack, but the ball goes out of play on the far side, just 10 yards inside the Burnley half. So one apiece. We're going to be in for a very dodgy last half an hour now. Can Burnley do it? They did it against Crystal Palace when no one expected them to do so. Can they do it again here against Fulham? And that would really put Fulham's season right on the skewer for them. Sue has gone for the first vote, and she's set the standard for you all. JBMLTM, Ashley Barnes. That counts, so Ashley Barnes gets the first vote for man of the match. We're into the 62nd minute of the match. Burnley 1, Fulham 1. Aina with the chest, putting Fulham fortuitously in the lead, but 4 minutes later, Burnley coming back through Ashley Barnes. Here's Charlie Taylor, left-hand side. He took Wowison Reid out the game beautifully, and the cross wasn't a bad idea. There just wasn't any Burnley players gambling inside the penalty area, around about possibly just beyond the penalty spot to try and test Abeloa, who took an easy catch in the end. But the cross from Taylor was a good idea, it's got to be said. Burnley are really showing some fight and guts and determination tonight, and you can't fault them for effort, but one mistake could cost them dear. We thought it was going to happen in the 53rd minute when Fulham took the lead, but they've come back superbly 4 minutes later to equalise. They're showing what Sean Dyche would say a strong jaw now at this moment in time. Absolutely, sir. They are playing an awful lot better, and they're taking the game to Fulham. It looks as if they're going back to their imperious best, where they were just unplayable at times against Crystal Palace on Saturday. They won the game by 3-0, and that was probably the biggest margin of victory they've had all season. And usually Burnley victories have been usually by the outgoing 5 or the outgoing 2 or outgoing 3 this season. They are one of the lowest scorers in the division, but my word, they are starting to bang a few in now this last couple of weeks. Cummins and Tarkowski now to Jack Cork, gets it forward to Taylor. And how well have we seen him play tonight? He's slotted in there. It's his first game back, and he's put in a decent performance, it's got to be said. Look, a lot better balance with Taylor at left back than they do with Eric Peters. That's no disrespect to Peters. It's just Taylor shows that bit more willing to get into attacking positions, where Peters is the sort of player that isn't really that good at attacking, I suppose. But at 1-1, it's still anybody's game. Burnley have made a substitution. Robbie Brady's gone off. Now that, to me, is a surprise. I know he's on a yellow card, but Brady off? That, to me, is one of the most strangest substitutions. A substitute has been substituted, and Josh Brownhill is now playing on the right-hand side. Well, answers on a postcard, please. I know there was a booking there. I know he's already been booked, but for God's sake, Dyche, with Burnley on top, that seems to be a very strange substitution. I think Brady at that point was starting to make one or two things happen. No wonder he's disgusted. Anyway, here's Taylor. And the ball comes back once more to Westwood. Well, that is a bit of a bit of a sensation here at Turf Moor. I know he's already been booked, but he was starting to make one or two things happen there, Robbie Brady, and I can't understand for the life of me, apart from obviously he's already been booked and has run the risk of being sent off, unless it's that's caused him to take the cautious nature of the substitution seriously. I can't see what else it could be. I don't understand that, but never mind. It's one apiece. Brownhill's on, so we're just gonna try and hope and pray that Brownhill can have a stomach. That looked a soft one against Brownhill. The referee is completely starting to lose it. That was never a foul on Loftus-Cheek, and if it was one of the softest fouls of the season. Brownhill getting in there, and he gets a footing to me, and there's nothing wrong with that. Loftus-Cheek checks over the ball. He's a big lad compared to Brownhill. How now the referee can give that a Fulham free kick, I will never know. Didn't look a good decision from first glance. And there's space here now, but the ball is out. It's a poor ball from Bobby Reid. It's poor. And Sean Knight sparking more instructions now. 25 minutes to go. Ashley Barnes is leading in the man of the match vote. Can you... Dean Gurman wants Fulham to win. I hope not. From a Burnley perspective, they've been the better team, Burnley. I've not been impressed at all by Fulham tonight. I have to say, they didn't deserve the goal they got. I thought it was against the run of the play. A very fortunate goal, but Burnley fought back very, very well. But it's 1-1. Remember, a Burnley win would take them 11 points clear of their opponents, and what a big gap to have at that stage of the season. And with another winnable game here at West Brom, at home to West Brom on Saturday. They've made another change, Fulham, whilst we're waiting for the throw-in to be taken, and we'll get that confirmed. Bobby Reid has got off. He's had a poor game. Not been good enough by half. And he's been very fortunate for me not to have been at least booked for some of the challenges he's put in, especially when he kicked the ball away in the first half. That was unsportsmanlike behaviour, and I think that should have been a booking. Meanwhile, John Moss has given Burnley a free kick. Jay Rodriguez, the man fouled. And you've got to give Rodriguez a bit of credit on the equaliser, because he just turned the defender and his little feint, he's giving it the other way. How is that given the other way? I'm afraid John Moss has completely lost his bearings there. That looked a Burnley free kick to me. But anyway, Fulham have possession. Well, the referee's made some strange calls tonight. Anyway, we've got Caballero now on for Bobby Reid. Caballero's cross turned away by... was it Tarkowski? Yes, it was. It's a corner to Fulham. So Burnley now under the cosh a little bit from a free kick which should never have been Fulham's in the first place, I have to be honest. I feel for Robbie Brady a little bit, because he was starting to get into the game a little bit, and he looks a little bit frustrated, and I can understand that. But anyway, and although he did mess up on the goal, as Sue rightly points out on the line, as the corner comes in, it was another dangerous corner from Fulham, and Ashley Barnes had to make sure that there was no further damage done, only another concession of a corner. And Burnley now have got this habit of really making it difficult for themselves. So here comes another corner. Ashley Barnes conceding the last one. Fulham really feel that they can take this now. They haven't deserved it on the balance of play, I've got to say. They have been second best in terms of chances created and the footballing ability to Burnley, but the level at 1-1, they don't deserve to be. As the corner comes into the penalty area, that's a very good decisive header from James Tarkowski. Burnley then obviously try and have to come out now to try and get Fulham retreating, which Harrison Reid has actually done. And this is good defence from the front from Burnley. What we saw with Barnsley the other night, when me and Chris Whiteman were watching Barnsley in the cup tie, but the boys out of play on the far side against Chelsea. Okay, they were unlucky to lose 1-0, but what you saw from them tactically was good astute tactics, and was actually good to see. But Burnley at the moment would just have a point, but it'd be a crucial point, because it would keep them 8 points and a good couple of arms lengths away from Fulham, which wouldn't be a bad result, but 3 points would be so brilliant for the Clarets right now. And Josh is showing his love for the Clarets. And we enjoy having you on. Of course, if you are new around here, hit the subscribe button, hit the notifications, because there's plenty more great content where this is coming from. Man of the match as well, please. Name of the player you want to see win. Hashtag it with JB MLTN. Sue has made the first bid, has made the first vote for man of the match, and Ashley Barnes is the man she has chosen. Meanwhile, Fulham have possession on the far side, and at the moment they're just starting to play a little bit of football here, but Sambo takes possession, but they've had to go backwards. Burnley are working very hard at the moment to try and deprive Fulham space, so they're having to go back to front, if you like. And here comes Caballero, plays it in there, goes behind the attacker a little bit. There's the shot coming in, and it's a good effort from Meyer, but it's an easy save. But Pope diving away to his right hand side. Hit the shot left footed, didn't hit it well. It was a bit tame, if I'm being honest, and it wasn't going in, but Nick Pope deciding to try and make the dive and make the save, which he did on both occasions. Watched the ball nicely there, couldn't take the risk, but Fulham have possession now. Burnley inviting a little bit of pressure on here, and this is not a good sign here. Fulham are going to have a little bit of the play, I don't think there's much doubt about it, but Burnley have to stay strong defensively. This is where Kerry Long really has to go into his own. McNeil has to be quicker to cut that ball out. The ball is cut out in the end, although in fairness it was Tete's cross, and Tete will get the ball again, but I think McNeil will be favourite to win possession, and hooks it back to his fellow left hand side player Taylor, and they work well in tandem. That's good football. Passed and moved out of defence. This is a lovely ball. Nice little triangle passes from Burnley, and here goes Rodriguez and Cork asking him to chase that, but out comes Araloa, who kicks away down the near side, the full and right hand side as we watch it, as Harrison Reed takes possession right on the touchline, still inside his own half. One apiece is the score. We've got 18 minutes plus stoppage time left to play. At the moment, Ashley Barnes is winning in the Man of the Match award. You can change that if you want. You can vote for Barnes himself, or you can vote for somebody else, and you need to choose a Man of the Match. This is where we get involved. This is where we like to get you involved, Josh, and everybody. So get your thinking caps on, folks. Name of the player you want to see win. Hashtag it with JBMLTM. And whoever has the most votes at the end wins the award. At the moment, it's going to Ashley Barnes. Pope kicks away now for Burnley. One apiece here at the turf. It could go either one way or the other way. It could end a draw. That's a bad back pass, which I'm a little just about got on the end of. And, well, you've got to hashtag it with JBMLTM to it to count, Josh. You need to put Rodriguez again, and then you hashtag it JBMLTM. That's for your vote to count. That's why we encourage you to hashtag it as well. Free kick, ball on Rodriguez. Now then, can Burnley do it? Getting their noses in front in the game and possibly hold on for a possible 3 points. Good ball in from Brownell, and that's a definite foul there. Pushing the back there by Toslin. And a free kick now on the far side. The Burnley right hand side. Jay Rodriguez has worked his socks off tonight. Hasn't scored, obviously, but the dummy on the goal was something sensational. If you watch it back on Sky Sports highlights tonight, you'll understand what I mean if you haven't seen it on television. Anyway, free kick to be taken by Westwood, far side, and it goes to the penalty area. Barnes climbs up, there's a hint of a handball in there. Burnley are protesting, referee didn't want to know. I'm sure VAR will have a beady eye at that. Still McNeil has it on the far side, chipped in there towards Barnes, and the header away is by Aida, and it's a corner. I think VAR might just have a little check of that, but I thought there might have been a case for a penalty. It was a bit of a crowd scene in there. Let's have a look. Oh, the army's out! The army's out! That's a penalty! That's a clear handball! How has John Moss not spotted that? VAR should be looking at that for me. Loftus-Cheek has got away with murder there. And not only that, he's given a free kick to Fulham. I can't believe that either. That, to me, looked a dead cert penalty. I can't believe The decisions that John Moss has made, absolute disgrace. And that's why I don't think John Moss, I've said this a million times about his referee, this is why he shouldn't be a Premier League referee, if he can make basic errors like that. Well, it's a clear handball for me, his arm was sticking out. I'm sorry, but that's a penalty. How can you give a decision like that? That just doesn't... Oh, it really frustrates me. The officials have been poor tonight. You know, in a Premier League game of this importance, you want the referee to be a good, fair referee, and I'm afraid John Moss has not been that. Here's Harrison Reed now for the Cottagers. And here's a chance now for Zambo. And Reed will strike. Reed, I think the shot hits his own man, actually, and the ball comes away again. A chase on here for Rodriguez. Does really well. Rodriguez will win the next one, and he goes down. That's a foul. And surely we've got to start seeing yellow cards for one or two of the Fulham players here. Especially Tete. I know there's a good sporty gesture there between him and Rodriguez. But I think John Moss nearly needs to start having a better game. Josh, you need to put... What you need to do, Josh, just to remind you, put Rodriguez again, but hashtag it with JBMOTM. That's the ruling on the Man of the Match award. I can't stress it more enough. But it's still Ashley Barnes leading the vote. And the ball played into the penalty area. And hooked away this time by Tosland, who's had a poor game by his standard. And you've subscribed as well. Well done to you. You're our 790th subscriber. Well done to you. Nice to have you with us, by the way. Here's Charlie Taylor now for Burnley. Remember, the name of the player and hashtag it JBMOTM, the Man of the Match award. Here goes Dwight McNeil. Can't get through. What a finish we're going to have here at the Turf. Can Burnley nick it? They've deserved at least to be winning this game, if not... Well, at least to be on parity and not winning it. But here comes Caballero. That's a dangerous cross. Oh, that was too close for comfort. The ball was played into Loftus-Cheek, who got away with Blue Murder not 3 minutes ago with a clear handball. And that could have rubbed salt into a very big Burnley wound if he'd have gone on the end of that. That was a danger sign for the Clarets. And oh, where was Kevin Long? That was appalling defending from Kevin Long. This is why we need Ben Mee back in the team. Looks like Tete has gone off, by the way. He's making his way to the tunnel. And on in his place comes number 33, Robinson. So Robinson is now on. Where's number 33? Fulham have made their first substitution. Burnley, I think, have used 2. And Robbie Brady's been involved in both of them. He came on as Gudmundsson's replacement when Gudmundsson got injured in the first half, and then in turn he was replaced himself by Josh Brownhill, I should say. It remains 1-1 in a game that either side can ill afford to lose. More so Burnley, because a Fulham win would close the gap on Burnley, and especially Newcastle. Newcastle fans will be hoping that Fulham only pick up a point or pick up no points themselves. So Burnley also got to try and do Newcastle a favour, and Brighton as well. So there's a lot of opportunities here for Brighton and for Newcastle without kicking a ball, because if Burnley were to get 3 points, boy, will the Newcastle and Brighton fans be breathing even more easier. Because it would mean that Fulham would need a few snookers, and if Burnley were to beat West Brom, they'd go past the 30-point barrier, which at this stage of the season would be a godsend, with a very tough running to come. I would think then if we get 3 points there and then pick up another 5 or 6 points, that should be enough to see Burnley over the line. Fulham's next fixtures: away at home at Sheffield United, away at Crystal Palace. That's going to be a tough game if Wolves are halfway, and it's an even tougher game against Liverpool. But we've seen Brighton and Burnley come to Anfield in recent weeks and win. So Burnley have got West Bromwich Albion at home, and then they've got 2 very difficult games: away at Spurs, which they don't traditionally do well with, free kick to Fulham, and then a home match with Arsenal as well. So some difficult games after West Brom to come, but no game's easy in the Premier League, you've got to say. So free kick to Fulham looked a cheap one to me, but and we've got Kevin Long on his haunches now. John Moss, who really hasn't had a good game at all as the referee. It's got to be said, he's had a poor game by his standards, and well, you just have to look at it really from that point of view. But at the moment, Burnley still on course for a point. It will suit Burnley more than it will suit Fulham, because Fulham are still going to be 8 points worse off than Burnley at the end of it if it was to end this way. But Burnley would love to have that extra 3 points on top of the 8 at the moment, taking them to 11 points. They've got about 10 minutes to try and find a winning goal. Hopefully not concede one at the other end, which we don't want to see. Taylor couldn't keep the ball in there. Kevin Long is up and okay, I'm pleased to report. Fulham don't have a very good record. I don't think I've ever seen them win here at Turf Moor, certainly in my lifetime. You'd have to go back a number of years for when the last time they won here at the Turf in any divisional league fixture between them, either in Football League or Premier League. And there's another injury here, and well, Burnley can ill afford all these injuries that they're picking up, and I just wonder if it's the same place at Kevin Long again. No, it's Tarkowski this time. I wonder what's happened here. Has there been well, it looks as if he's taken something, a blow to his face. So I'd like to see that one again. Let's have a look at this again. That's it. Oh, that's an elbow. He knew what he was doing. That's a red card. That's violent conduct. That from the subject from Mayer. I think that's a red card. I don't think that's accidental at all. His arm is out and it's hit him in the face. I can't believe the referees and the VAR haven't pulled him up on that one. I'm sorry, but I've never seen such a dirtier side than Fulham all season watching the Clarets in action. Meanwhile, here's Rodriguez on to Ashley Barnes. Can Burnley now football their way towards 3 crucial points? They have been the team that have really tried to play the football. Fulham have tried to use only force in this game. Here goes McNeil again. McNeil to Brownhill. McNeil again. He needs to take... Oh, that's a clear obstruction, surely! Jonathan Moss, what are you playing at? It's a clear obstruction. It's a clear obstruction from Tete. Or Aina, rather. But how is this referee allowed to referee a game of this importance? Sorry, but that's a free kick to Burnley. I'm beginning to wonder about John Moss. This referee is absolutely abysmal. If he can't spot a clear and obvious obstruction, then I'm done with the game. I'm honestly done with the modern game and the modern refereeing. I really am done with it. Anyway, Rodriguez looked a foul on him there, but again the referee didn't want to go. He's had a poor game, John Moss. He really has he's had a poor game, and I'm just thinking ahead to Saturday and the game against West Brom. Guess who's back for that one? Yes, Mike Dean. So that could be a very interesting match on Saturday, really, in terms of him being the referee, because you know what Mike Dean's like. He makes John Moss look a saint. Anyway, meanwhile, here's Luckman. As Fulham look to go in search of a winning goal, which on balance of play they barely deserved. And Zambo now knocks it forward. And here comes Cavallero. Can Cavallero dig out across? He can, but good stout Burnley defending. Still remains 1-1, but here's Sambo again towards the edge of the area. The ball breaks inside the area, but it breaks to a Burnley player, thank heavens. And the ball knocked out of play. You still haven't hashtagged it JBMLTM. You need to hashtag it JBMLTM, please. Can't count the votes unless you hashtag it, Joshua, I'm afraid. And that's why we have it, to avoid any confusion. We do it because you need to hashtag, and we need to get that hashtag away. It's been a staple diet on these games for quite some time now, about 2 years since we started doing these regular Man in the Match awards, and everyone knows and what they need to do. Meanwhile, Fulham have a chance there, but Lawton cuts that out. Can barely get themselves a winner in the last 5 minutes. Pope has to kick it clear, can't pick the ball up, as it was deemed a back pass. But Burnley now struggling a little bit now, and the ball is played into Loftus-Cheek, who should have given the penalty away. Loftus-Cheek with the cross, and the ball breaks, and it... Well, there was a chance in there for Lookman. The ball ricocheted off him, and it broke kindly for Pope, thank heavens. But it's I'm having collective heart failure in this in the turf at the moment. Burnley never make it easy for their supporters, and you just wonder what sort of nerves would be teetering if there was fans in the stadium. That's a clear push, referee. That's about time, referee. Clear push. At least you've spotted that one, John Moss. That's the first good decision he's got right. Maybe Loftus-Cheek should be going in the book now for persistent fouling. Oh, he should. Well, he's on a booking anyway, but he should be going off the field for me. He should have been sent off. Well, now can Burnley still get the 3 points they richly deserve? Westwood plays that in there. Ball will break on the far side. They can't get the header in. Tarkowski will retrieve the situation. Next job is to keep it in on the far side. He's got Lookman accompanied. Oh, that's a foul by Lookman. He's absolutely poleaxed Tarkowski. He should be going in the book. Look at this. Poleaxed him. Takes him out. That's a clear yellow card. John Moss should be getting his book out there for me. Oh my goodness. The amount of fouls that Fulham have made tonight has been astronomical. They have been abysmal. I've never seen such dirty tactics from an away side at Turf Moor for a very long time. Right, free kick to Burnley, who have been the better side. And now they're trying to steal yards here for them from the free kick. John Moss needs to get that one-man wall back. He's never 10 yards away. He's well in front of the line there. He's well in front of the line. John Moss needs to get him back here. He's not making any effort to do so. Westwood will have to take the free kick in any case. And in the end, Amaloa's got the ball. But Fulham again trying to cheat. This is no way to play the game of football. It's just wrong. It's morally wrong. The spirit of the game is so wrong from Fulham. And I've not been impressed with their gamesmanship one little bit. Burnley won, Fulham won. Fulham do not deserve to be even drawing this game. They have been a really dirty side tonight. Some of their fouls has been really poor. But Burnley have tried to play the right way. And in fairness, deserve 3 points. Jay Rodriguez has got man of the match. Now that's what you should be doing, Josh. If you can do that in the next 2 minutes, Jay Rodriguez will win man of the match. So all you've got to do is put Rodriguez and hashtag JBMLTM. If you do that, Rodriguez will surely win the award. Come on, Josh, you can do it. All you need to do is hashtag it JBMLTM, like Russ has done. That's all you've got to do, mate. Do that, and you've won, and you've done it. I'll come back to that in a second because we've got a finish on here. And I'm just taking requests for JB man in a match. Burnley have won 25 and drawn 5 in the last 30-odd matches. The last defeat to Fulham, 1951. In April 1951, since Fulham last won a game here at Turf Moor in any competition, League and Cup. We don't want that to change today. And they've got a man free. Lawton's going to be there quickly. Oh, and it's just gone wide. Adam Loman had a chance there to steal, to smash and grab 3 points for Fulham, and thankfully put it wide of the target. Oh, we're just saying how long since Fulham won. They haven't won since the early 50s. And Adam Loman had a glorious chance. Matt Lawton was so slack there. It was unbelievable. But it would have been so cruel on Burnley as far as the game is concerned because they've been the better side. Even Scott Parker would have to admit that. Right, we've played the 90th minute. Looks like it's going to be a draw for man of the match. So I'm going to have to... might have to share the award. Mind you, both of them have deserved it. That looked a foul by me. Oh, no, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. A clear clip. And the referee doesn't give it. That just sums up this pathetic performance from John Moss. It really has been pathetic. So we're going to give a joint award. So man of the match, joint man of the match, 1 vote each from the same team. So Burnley's Jay Rodriguez, who's been fouled, free kick, and Ashley Barnes will both get the award. The vote is now over. 3 added minutes at the end of the game. Burnley have a free kick. Can Burnley snatch it in the 3 minutes of stoppage time? We've already had one in the 3 minutes almost. Next goal will win, essentially. Burnley will still want to win this game, but a draw would not be the most disastrous result in the world. That win against Crystal Palace bought them that little bit of breathing space. The Gap will stay at 8 points. Beat West Brom and Fulham lose to Sheffield United, then the Gap would be back at 11 points. So it's not all doom and gloom. Free kick to Burnley, and it goes by Westwood. They're all queuing up in the penalty area. The ball will break here for Long on the far side. Needs to be a good cross. He's done okay. He's won a corner there. Burnley have still got a chance from a corner, and if they can score from this corner, the season will be on again. Survival will certainly be well and truly on. And what a moment this could be in Burnley's season. Barnes is forward. Tarkowski's forward. Long is forward. Jay Rodriguez is forward. Cork is on the goalkeeper. This needs to be a good delivery from Dwight McNeil. This needs to be his best corner yet. Has to get it right in that 6-yard area, which he has done. And the goalkeeper's thrown to it. Oh, it's gone wide. And it's Ashley Barnes. I think it came to him a bit quickly, in fairness. And the lower flapped. And Ashley Barnes came within a whisker of winning it for Burnley. Goalkeeper flaps. It's come to Barnes, in fairness to him, a little bit quickly for him. Didn't have time to adjust the header. And wide it went. And that just sums up Burnley's luck at the moment. Oh, you can't believe it. You just literally can't believe it right now. It's, well, if that goes in, it's 11 points, the Gap at that stage, and, well, you know what happens there. But at the moment, it's we've lost the technical boys. We've lost the stream for the moment. We'll try and get one back for the last few seconds if we can, but... Oh, what a moment that could have been for Burnley Football Club. What a moment in their season that might have been. A point is better than nothing, it is, but Burnley have deserved all 3 on the balance of play. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I will try and get back to you, but we have to. You have to understand. You have to understand, my friend. That we can't. We have to go with the game at the end of the game, but we will come back to your comment in a second or two. But I think I think the game is over. I think, to be honest with you, we have 1 or 2 technical issues, but I've got to say, what a moment that could have been for Burnley as they tried to get 3 points from this. But I think it's going to end at 1-1 now. I will come back to your comment at the end of the game. And in fact, it's all over. The whistle's gone. So Burnley then moved to 27 points. Fulham 19. And that, if only that chance for Ashley Barnes goes in, oh, it might have been it might have been so different. But there we go. It ends 1-1. It ends all square. Fulham can think themselves very, very lucky that they've only stolen a point. That is a frustrating moment. I don't think Scott Parker's team deserved anything from the game. They came here with the intentions of being dirty, which is exactly what they got, which they were. They did not come to play any good football, and they got a goal which they barely deserved on the balance of play. Burnley hit back, but Burnley should have won that game. Burnley should have been the winners, the clear winners, and absolutely disgraceful that Fulham have got a point out of that. They did not deserve that. Anyway, let's just hear a few of the comments. Off the head off now, JB. Great coverage. Time to watch Rotherham away at Bournemouth on television. Well, good luck with you there. Good luck for Rotherham there, and well done on your new job. So we're finished here at Turf Moor. We'll be with you we'll be finishing up. Well, let's just catch up on a few comments before we leave you tonight. As Burnley have been denied 3 points. So let's have a look at the comment. There was one comment I wanted to go back to before we finish. I just want to say thank you for everybody that's tuned in tonight, by the way. I'm sure the one dislike would have been from a Fulham fan, but I'm going to be a little bit... Now then, this is the one I was going to get back to. I was going to get back to you, Collie, on this one. Can anyone tell me where they play the tribute to the fans on the Burnley's big screen during the matches? I think what you have to do, mate, is... you may have to ring up the media manager or send him a tweet. His Twitter address is Darren Bentley. Look for Darren Bentley on Twitter, and or contact the media department at Burnley Football Club if you if you're looking to play the tribute. If you are prepared to pay a tribute to a loved one or anything else, they'd be better. That would be my big for you anyway. But at the moment, it's finished here at Turf Moor. It's a disappointing result, but not a disastrous one, because 3 points for Burnley against West Brom on Saturday will go a long way to securing their Premier League status. Still 8 points ahead, but no, I was not impressed with Fulham at all. I'm sure my good friend Barry Swain will disagree with me on that one. But I thought Burnley was superb tonight, and it's a little bit disappointing when Burnley have done all the hard work and got only 1 point for their efforts. They deserved more than 3 points. Fulham were just really difficult. Okay, thank you very much for your thank you. And if you haven't subscribed, my friend, please do. We like you all to subscribe, because that would be brilliant. Yes, and you too as well, up the Clarets. But well, it's onwards and upwards for Burnley. Then they take on West Brom on Saturday. We'll be active on Twitter, and we'll find out what games that we can do. Might be a couple of Sunday games that we end up doing in the end. We're not sure about Saturday yet, but bear with us on that one. But but next week we should have a Champions League commentary for you next week or two. But here tonight at Turf Moor, Burnley the better side, no doubt about it. They'll be annoyed that Fulham have got away with an undeserved point. They didn't really come out to play with any football at all. They used force and got a point, really, which they barely deserved. Burnley worked so hard. Really good performance from start to finish, and maybe deserved a lot more than the point they got. But it is not a disaster. The gap is still at 8 points, and that's still a healthy enough gap at the moment. But Burnley should have won that game for me tonight. They were the better side. 1-1, it's finished here at the Turf. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage tonight of this showdown, which has ended all square. Burnley 1, Fulham 0. Burnley 1, Fulham 1, sorry. And thank you very much to you all. Thank you to everyone who's commented. Just to remind you, it's a joint man of the match win for Jay Rodriguez and for Ashley Barnes, so they get the joint award. I don't know what they're going to share with, but I'm sure they'll come up with something. But here it's finished 1-1. But Burnley put in a real shift tonight, and you can't ask for many more than that. It's just a shame they just couldn't get that 3 points. Anyway, from me, JB at Turf Moor, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Take care. Good night.